Beverly Enos, and you are watching Spotlight Georgetown. Don't forget, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. You can find us at other times, but those are kind of our standard times for Spotlight Georgetown. This is your own cable TV station, so use our equipment, come and find out what we do, borrow the equipment, and find out how to use it for your own nonprofit, and come and have some fun with the station here, third floor of Town Hall. Now today we're talking to Mark Tashjian and Erica Kratz, and we're talking about something new here in Georgetown, the Boston Polo Club. It's where Twisden Wood Farm used to be, which is where Muscovich Farm used to be, which is kind of where a lot of things were on Andover Street here in Georgetown. So, we've never had polo in Georgetown before, ever. This is something new. In August of 2016, Boston Polo purchased the Twisden Wood Farm on Andover Street. Now, we have two people here talking to us. Now, where are you from?
I'm originally from Oakham, Massachusetts.
And how did you end up in Georgetown?
So I moved up here about 5 years ago to work in the horse industry. In the North Shore, there's a lot of horse activity. And over the years, I started the polo club, and it developed organically. I started teaching people how to ride horses, and it grew into a small polo club. And with expansion, we needed to find a property that could meet our growing needs, and the property here met what we were looking for.
Okay, Mark, is this part of another polo club that's in the area?
No, this is a standalone polo club.
Okay, so this is
the
brand
only
new
location, correct?
here in Georgetown.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is something that's kind of a brand new thing.
Right.
Now, where are you from?
Originally from Baltimore, Maryland, and I live in Groveland now.
So that's a nice, easy commute for you to do.
Yes, very easy.
Okay. Now, why did you decide on Georgetown to do this?
Georgetown has a great location. It's very easy to get to.
Okay.
A lot of places, New Hampshire, Boston. It's easy to get out of.
495,
95. It's just a really nice community in terms of its values and the people, and the former owners of the farm were really great people that I knew, and the neighbors seemed to be really great people as well. So it just seemed like it would be a good fit.
Okay. Now, the farm itself,
Mm-hmm.
the buildings that are there, how many stalls does it have? There's also a sign that says stalls for rent. How many stalls does the farm actually have?
Correct. It has 78 stalls.
I didn't realize it had that many.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of stalls.
Yeah, it's very large.
And so the stalls will be for rent for people that just want to board their horses?
Correct.
Any horses?
Correct.
Okay.
Or ponies.
Or ponies?
Mhm.
Okay. The facility has outdoor riding rings?
Mhm.
How many?
It has 3.
It has 3, okay.
Mhm.
Indoor riding ring,
Yeah.
1.
Mm-hmm.
And does it have a polo field now, or is one going to be built?
It has a small field that we're doing a little bit of improvements on, but it does have a small field in the back.
In the back?
Yep.
Okay, and I think that's where, when they had the mares and the foals, that's where they used to be out in the backyard, I'm
Mhm.
saying backyard, out in the back fields.
Yeah.
That, we used to watch them in the spring and see them
Mhm.
out romping around and things like that.
Right.
Okay, so, on the website it says this is a multi-discipline facility. Now, what does that mean?
That means that we're not exclusive to a specific horse discipline, such as jumping. We don't just have people that do jumping or just have people that do polo. We're open to all sorts of different things, whether it's some people are, whether it's jumping, dressage, or any other horse discipline, driving. There's a woman that has come a couple of times that does driving at the facility, which is the little carriage and the little horse that pulls the carriage around. And so we're pretty open to different things.
So people can bring their own horses and do pretty much anything that they want.
Right.
Okay, now, Mark, you're the owner,
Correct.
and Erica, your position is?
The barn manager, so I mostly take care of the horses on a day-to-day basis, and the barn, facility itself, as well as teach some lessons and anything else that really needs to be done on a given day.
Okay, when you look at the facility from the street, it looks like there are 2 barns.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 2 barns and the horses would be in both?
Yes, so there are 4 sort of wings, I guess, of barns, and that's where the 78 stalls are split up.
Okay,
So you can bring in a trainer with their own clients and boarded horses with, say, 8, 10 horses, something like that. Or you can have an individual who comes in with a single horse to board in one of those stalls too.
Oh, okay. So when you say a trainer, so somebody could come in, a trainer,
Mm-hmm.
and say, bring his own people in
Mm-hmm.
with their horses and train them for whatever type of discipline he wants to do.
Right.
Is that something that you're
Mhm.
expecting or advertising for?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then where would you advertise for something like that? They have to, well, obviously there'd be a lot of horse magazines or
Mhm.
people in the area.
Mm-hmm. And the number one way to advertise is word of mouth as well. It's not a very big community, and it's really one of the only facilities like this in really all of New England that
Really?
has so many different options, has so many different rings, so many stalls, and it really has a good reputation historically. It's done some major different horse events in the community in the past, so there's not very many facilities like that around anymore.
It's relatively large compared to the others
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that are around, because most of the others that are around are smaller, and
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been inside, but
Mhm.
you see the others that are around and they're
Yeah.
one ring or that's
Right.
about it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right. What is your plan with the Polo Club here in Georgetown?
The Polo Club, we'd like to really offer the facility as something for the community, both the horse community and the general community, people in Georgetown, the surrounding towns, to really be able to get to know horses, to be able to get to know nature, and to be able to enjoy this beautiful farm, you know, be able to preserve this farm with a lot of history, as you mentioned. So people can come in. We enjoy really doing matches, different sorts of benefit matches for nonprofit groups. We've done some for different animal rescues and some different organizations. We've helped put on polo matches to help them raise money for different things, so the community can really get to appreciate both the horses and the nature, the scenery.
Now, are there polo teams, or how would that be set up? Are there already people that have horses that are willing to do these types of things?
Yeah, there's different polo clubs, and the different polo clubs will usually form a team within their club, and so we'll form a team and go up to, let's say, Newport Polo Club, or to Greenwich Polo Club, or another polo club, and then they'll send a team up when we're having an event.
Okay, so there are other polo clubs in the area
Correct.
that would then come into Georgetown and have an event with you.
Correct.
Okay, all right, so that's, now, how many people are in the club that you expect to be forming, or horses?
Well, there's about 24 active members right now.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've seen some of the photographs on the website. You've got a lot of people, a lot of horses, and
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of great photos. What are the
Mhm.
ages of most of the people that are participating, or that you expect to be participating up there?
Mm-hmm. We have a large group of students that are between the ages of 14 to 22, I would say, and then we also have quite a few young adults that are in their late 20s to mid 40s.
So these are kids that are in high school and
Mm-hmm.
local high schools,
Right.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and in the local colleges, or I mean, are these Georgetown or these Essex County areas or southern New Hampshire?
Primarily Essex County and southern New Hampshire. There are a few like right in this area. There's a few people, in North Andover and in the immediate vicinity. But a lot of them are traveling a half an hour to an hour to come.
Okay, now where were they riding and joining before?
That's the thing. There's really no other location, so that's why they're traveling here. That's why I like the location. It's centrally located for both the clients. We even have people from Maine that come down to ride with us, and people south of Boston that come up because there's
Oh, wow.
nowhere else that's closer.
So before this, there was no place for them to participate.
Correct.
So this is really brand new for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's, now, how do you plan on being involved in the Georgetown community?
I'd really like to get involved with some of the local businesses and be able to help them bring some business to them. We've talked to some of the local businesses about them being involved in some of our events, and also I'd really like to get involved with some of the different groups that might need to do a benefit, raise money for different things, whether it's the fire department or the Boy Scouts or whatever groups that might want to use the facility for some sort of event that they might have, because we also have some large fields in the back that could be used for any kind of community event as well.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a polo event.
Right,
You have the space
right.
to be used for other types of events.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for field days or
Yeah.
anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
that they want to be able to using for or picnics or
Mhm.
anything that would be able to use the amount of space. What about indoor space? Would that be a possibility as well?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
just-
there's some good indoor space. Yeah, and like for special events, we can also set up tables and chairs and things like that, and make indoor space possible as well.
Mm-hmm.
So even in the winter months, that would be a possibility.
Yeah, we have, I mean, there's really 3 large open areas within the
Mhm.
barns that can seat, or that you could have quite a few people
Okay.
inside at the same time.
All right, now, for the actual polo,
Mm-hmm.
polo horses, when I've been to a couple of polo matches down in, I guess it's Hamilton, Wenham, that area, I was surprised. The polo horses are not really large. Most of
Yeah.
the things that I've been associated with horses, I used to ride as a child and into my teen years. And then I've been more associated with the Topsfield Fair. So larger horses, and sometimes much larger horses. The polo horses are rather small.
Yeah.
So how is the game of polo actually played?
Well, one of the reasons why the polo ponies tend to be on the smaller side is because polo is a very quick moving, lots of turns very quickly type of game.
Okay,
And it's just hard for really big horses to have that maneuverability.
right.
So that's part of the reason why. And they're called polo ponies.
Ponies.
Because historically the polo horses needed to be of a certain size, even though they aren't actually usually pony sized. The horses that are at Boston Polo are horses, but we call them ponies because
They're
it's just
smaller
sort
than
of
most of
the lingo.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's part of the lingo. So how many polo ponies are on a team?
For indoors, there are 3 players on each team, and for outdoor polo, there are 4 players on each team. And for outdoors, you usually play a horse 1 period to 2 periods of playing time, and for indoors, you usually play them at least twice.
Okay,
So for indoors, you don't need quite as many horses as you do for outdoors.
and how many sets or times are in a game?
For indoors, there are 4 chukkers, we call each of the
Okay.
quarters, and for outdoors, it's 6.
Ooh, that's a long game.
Yeah, but we have a halftime, and usually halftime has some kind of entertainment value as well.
Other than people going down and
Yeah,
stepping
exact-
down on that.
Yeah, exactly. Stomping the divots for outdoors.
And so the scoring is there's got to be something different about it because the riders are actually hitting the balls with mallets. And can you explain the game a little bit more?
Sure. So, like you said, you use a mallet to hit a ball, not quite like a croquet side of it, but on the flat side. And there are a bunch of rules governing safety.
Okay.
That's the primary concern for rules. And you essentially try to hit the ball to pass to team members, get it in the goal, and each time it gets in the goal is 1 point, unless it's back really, really far, and then it's a 2-point goal. And for outdoors, you switch goals after you switch directions after each goal. For indoors, it's each time period you switch. And that's sort of the most basic
Okay.
rundown.
It reminds me a lot of like playing soccer because it has the ball has to be kept down on the grass and it gets hit the same way that somebody would hit a soccer ball with their feet. And it gets passed from person to person that's riding the polo pony. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it gets hit to a goal.
Yes.
The same way. All right.
Yep.
All right.
And sometimes the horses kick the ball too, and that
Really?
it still counts as a goal.
Okay.
You just
But-
mark it down as a pony goal.
The horses can move. I mean, they can pivot.
Oh
and
yeah.
Just as fast as you can possibly believe. And they're moving.
Yes,
They're moving really fast.
highly athletic.
Yeah, okay. So that's the basics of the actual game of polo. Now, do you plan to attend events outside of the property? The Boston Polo?
Yeah, we do a lot of reciprocation with other clubs and other events, and we also help, like I said, we help some outside groups with benefit matches and stuff. So a few weeks ago, we went down to Medfield, Mass, and we helped the Norfolk Hunt Club, which is another equestrian organization,
Okay.
put on a benefit match. They have a property there that they have to maintain as open space. So we helped them put on this benefit match to raise money, and so we brought players in for that. And then we'll also send teams to other clubs for matches that they're holding.
Okay, so if we're doing fundraisers for Georgetown,
Mhm.
you would send teams to go to do fundraisers for other towns?
Correct.
In the same manner that you would expect people to come here and do things for Georgetown?
Right.
Okay, now, does the polo team or the farm require a membership?
No, it doesn't require any kind of membership.
Okay, so how do people join it or
So-
donate to it or?
So generally, you could come and attend any of our events without being a member. You can come and take riding lessons, whether, your child is 4 years old and wants to take a basic riding lesson, or if you want to become an expert polo player, you could come and take lessons without being a member. People that are playing regularly, that have been coming for an extended period of time, that are regular players, we ask them to become members to contribute to the expenses. But just to come and take lessons or to enjoy the facilities, you don't need to be a member. Or to keep your horses there, you don't need to be a member.
Okay, so if, let's say somebody in Georgetown, they have a child that wants to take riding lessons.
Mhm.
Do you have horses that they could take lessons on, or do they have to provide their own horse?
We provide all the horses and equipment necessary.
So kids could come and just take riding lessons?
Mhm.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So that's something that are they offered on a lesson by lesson basis, or a group of 4 lessons, or every Wednesday, or how are they going to be offered?
We offer both a lesson by lesson basis and people. Usually I recommend that someone first just take a single lesson to see if they enjoy it. But if someone's child or if an individual is interested in taking regular lessons, they can sign up for like a package or a weekly, like every Saturday afternoon. We have a group that comes out. So if someone knows that they want to do it, we'll recommend that they do the group.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, now, instructors.
Mhm.
Do you have trained instructors, and how many do you have, and what kind of information would people need to know?
Yeah, we've got a number of different instructors. We have people that focus more on, we have a girl that focuses more on like the little kids. Erica and I focus more on the polo and the polo instruction. And then we have some other instructors that come in and that will focus more on specific advanced disciplines.
Okay, such as dressage.
Right.
Now, I had my explanation of what dressage is, but what is dressage?
Dressage is a discipline of riding where the rider uses very imperceptible leg and hand movements to get their horse to do different lateral and forward movements on a flat ring. So they aren't jumping, they aren't hitting balls or anything like that. They're just sort of moving from point A to point B in very specific manners.
To me, it looks like the horse is dancing.
Yeah, a lot of people describe it as horse dancing.
And very specific dance moves, not just
Exactly.
free-flowing. It's a very specific dance steps,
Right.
and very technical.
Yes, very technical, judged on a points basis too, on how well you do performing said movements.
And horses need to be trained in that probably even more than the riders.
Yeah, I would guess so. I've never myself done dressage, but it certainly seems that way.
So if you're doing lessons for anybody, for let's say the public, what are the ages that you would be doing?
Generally, for polo, the ages for polo is like 10 to 55, I would say, for polo. Kids younger than 10 are usually just doing basic riding, like, getting comfortable being around the horse,
Okay.
just walking the horse around, that sort of thing. And then, once someone gets to be about 10, they might be able to pursue jumping or dressage or polo. They'll have enough basic riding under their belt by then, and they'll be large enough to be able to actually control the horse to some degree.
So younger than that, they'd just be learning how to basically ride
Right.
and deal with the reins. And is it, I would assume it's English as opposed to Western?
Well, the tack and equipment involved resembles English tack more than Western.
Okay,
But since polo is played with the mallet in one hand and the reins in the left, it's more Western in terms of that kind of guidance in
Okay.
moving your horse.
so it's
But it's
it's actually neither one then.
yeah,
Correct.
exactly. It's more specific to the sport itself.
So as the kids are learning, they're learning specifically with the equipment that they would eventually use for polo.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so it resembles English more. And, okay, so that would make a lot more sense then.
Yeah.
Now, if kids were taking lessons, would they also be learning how to tack and saddle their own horses and take care of the horses themselves and groom them and all that type of thing?
Oh, absolutely.
So it wouldn't be
yeah.
just come and take a nice lesson, nicey horsey, and go
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Yeah.
some places that's what it is, and
Right.
that's not really learning how to ride.
Right. The
Right,
horsemanship is a huge aspect of what we do, teaching people about leading the horses, teaching them about the feeding, the horse care, just everything. And so if you have a 45-minute lesson where you're actually on the horse for 45 minutes, the lesson itself will probably be an hour and a half long total
Okay.
with 15, 20 minutes before and 15, 20 minutes after, where they're learning about the
Pulling
horse.
the horse
And
down, brushing.
Right.
All right, so it's a little more than just what a pretty horse, I'm going to get on his back and ride him around the stable.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Because that's a lot of the important part,
Right.
is getting to know the horse and getting to know the style
Yeah.
and working with the horse,
Yes, exactly.
especially for children. Adults the same thing, I guess. So, contact information. How do people get in touch with you to find out for riding lessons or polo lessons or to do fundraisers or anything?
Anyone's welcome to stop by the farm. We're there pretty much every day of the week. There's
Oh,
someone
really?
that's there, so you're
Okay.
welcome to stop by, and we'd be happy to say hi and show you around. Or you
People can just drive in and take a little tour and say hello and,
Yeah, there's usually someone around. If you want to stop
Cool.
by, if you're one of our neighbors or someone in town, we'd be happy for the town people to get to know us. And we've
just
been
don't
trying-
wander around alone. Find
Right.
somebody.
There's an
Yeah. Yes.
office. There's a sign where the office is, and
Okay.
so when you pull in, you'll see the club office sign. And there's usually someone in the club office that can take a few minutes to say hi and show you the facilities. You're welcome to also call us. Our phone number is 508-735-6416. We also have a website, which is bostonpolo.org, and a Facebook page as well, so people can check out information there as well.
Okay, did we miss anything?
One thing that's interesting, the polo ponies, actually, though they're trained in polo, they'll do pretty much any discipline. The polo ponies will also be able to teach kids how to do English riding. They do some basic dressage. A lot of the polo utilizes some of the dressage movements. The polo ponies, when we're not playing polo, a lot of times we'll take them to horse shows and do jumping with them and that
Oh,
sort
really?
of stuff. So they're really very versatile.
Oh, okay. Neat. So, and because of the size of the polo ponies, the kids are probably not nearly as anxious about riding them. They're not these big, huge horses that kids would be afraid of.
Right, they're very friendly, docile, and the polo
Yeah.
ponies they really enjoy what they do. They're always with other horses, so you don't have to be afraid walking it by another horse if it's going to be afraid. They're really very docile, and they love people. They love their jobs, so they're really pretty friendly.
Is there a height or an age restriction for people that are going to be riding them,
There's not much of a height or age restriction.
or size restriction?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's a little baby, they're not going to be able to ride on their own. We might put them on the horse and lead the horse around.
Okay.
And we have some larger horses. So for people who are larger, we have a couple of horses that are larger
Okay.
for them as well.
All right, so you can pretty much handle just about everybody.
Right.
Great. Great. Well, welcome to Georgetown.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining
Yep.
us. Thank you, Erica. So, if you're looking for something different, we have Boston Polo up on Andover Street here in Georgetown. I'm Beverly Lehman. This is Spotlight Georgetown. Thank you for joining us today. Bye for now.